Hey, BOOZHOO, and welcome back to the show. So back in the days of the grandfathers, there was a young cop, a young deputy named Barney, and he worked for a sheriff in a small town called Mayberry, and the sheriff's name was Andy. And boy, these two guys were total opposites. Barney was, real by the books. He dressed up, in his police uniform. He wore a tie and a hat, and he was very, type A personality. But his boss Andy was very type B, very casual. He wouldn't even carry a gun. He just walked around in his little sheriff's outfit. But he's real friendly, almost too friendly to everybody in town. But they were the only two cops in the whole town of Mayberry, which was a small town, and it seemed to work. And but the one problem was Barney wasn't too bright. He was real slow. And they didn't trust him to carry a gun. I mean, they let him carry a gun, but Andy was like, hey, you know what? You can have a gun, but I need you to keep just one bullet in your pocket. I'll let you know when you can use that bullet, but otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself, if not somebody else, if we let you load that gun. So the day came of the big pie competition. Every year in Mayberry, the town's best pie cooks, chefs, whatever, would get together in the community center and have a contest. Who make the most delicious pie? And well, Andy was living with his Aunt May. Aunt May? Was that her name? Aunt B. Aunt May was Spider-Man's aunt. That was Peter Parker's aunt. But so he lived in a house with his Aunt B and his little boy, Opie. And it was just the three of them. And so they invited Barney over for dinner one night. And they wanted him to sample the delicious pies that Aunt B would enter into the pie contest. So Barney shows up, and they have a lovely dinner of roast beef and mashed potatoes, a glass of milk. And so afterwards, Barney and Andy, they go out onto the porch there, and it's a beautiful summer day. And Barney goes, hey, Andy, can I ask you something? And Andy goes, well, sure, Barn. You can ask me anything. And so Barney goes, what happened to Opie's mom? How come she's not around? And Andy goes, look, I want to show you something. And he takes him out back. He goes, look at that. And what's there? A shallow grave with a single cross. And he goes, that's where Opie's mom is. And Barney goes, oh, gee, Andy, I'm so sorry. What happened? And he goes, I shot her. Because, yeah, she was asking too many questions. So I shot her and I buried her back here. But now you have to ask yourself something, Barney. What will you do now that you know my secret? I am the sole law officer in this town. And just at that, he heard he hears Barney load his gun. And Barney puts his gun up. And he goes, okay, Andy, that's far enough. We can do this one of two ways. And Andy goes, yeah, what's that? And Barney goes, you can come with me. I'm going to arrest you. Or you can resist, and I'm going to put you down right here. I will be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. I'm not so simple-minded now, am I, Andy? And so Andy goes, hey, Barney, did you see the sunrise this morning? And at that, Barney knew what he had to do. And this is the truth of what happened in Mayberry and why that show went off the air. Debwewin is our Ojibwe word of the day for truth. Debwewin. The truth. And you have been watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO, and I will see you again. GOFUNDME. Minowa. Hawa. 2 bits. What?